Hey, we're back, y'all, with another great episode, Comedy Live. I'm with the up-and-coming great legend from Chicago. I said legend, I'm going to say it right. Ray Grady, man. Ray, thank you for coming on today. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for having me come through, man.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Also known as the alpha male of comedy.
Yes, sir.
So, Ray, I always start the show off, we always talk about the journey.
Okay.
That's the first question I ask all the guests. So, talk about your journey growing up in Chicago, coming up, making your way to Hollywood and the stardom that you're on now with movies and comedy shows throughout the country.
Well, first of all, man, comedy, I've always been funny, right? So when you always funny, you don't have to force a lot of it, right? And then in high school and, I was the funniest in my high school as a freshman.
What high school you went to in Chicago?
Ridge Central.
Okay.
Yeah. So being the funniest in the high school, it just kind of developed from there, you know what I mean? And then I just developed how to, you can break a lot of bread with jokes. I'm not the jokester that's going to pick on people. That's not funny to me.
Okay.
Because, we used to call it bagging and roasting.
Okay.
I really wasn't the comic to get roasted, only because, A, I didn't play it.
Okay.
B, I know you're not funny. So you're just doing it for the girls. And then, I don't really talk a lot. So, got married, and how I got married, my wife was, at the time, she was just like, we were just trying to figure things out. And then I heard about this comedy club that was opening, but it was already open. D-Ray Davis had Chocolate Sundays.
Another Chicago guy.
Original Chocolate Sundays. That was 95, but I didn't touch it. So my barber, he was like, yo, man, you should do something with your gift. And I was like, nah, man, I just like working with my hands and stuff like that. So I come back to get my hair cut. He locked me out the barbershop.
Wow.
And said, don't come back until you expose your gift. So I was afraid of being successful, right? So that right there changed a lot, just of being afraid. Like, man, he wasn't pushy. He was just like, yo, you should do stand-up. Nah, I'm not doing it. And I got my hair cut that day. Then 2 weeks later, Mike Miller was like, do not come in here. Don't ever come back in here until you expose that. So that changed my life, because I, messed around with the gang for a little while, but I wasn't into paraphernalia. I wasn't into drug dealing. I always thought that was some house nigga activity. I couldn't do it. So if we're gonna sell something, we selling to them, and only them. I'm not doing nothing in the hood, you know what I'm saying? So they knew then at that, 17, 18-year-old, that mindset was different. And then, going from, went to culinary school, learned how to deal with people and breaking bread. And I was basically ordered to go to culinary school because the gift is in the hands, what I'm saying, in the kitchen, whatever. And, I understood how to, be a sponge. If you know something that I don't, a dummy will keep talking. Somebody's genius, he's going to sit and listen until you stop. And then that's that. So that's how, basically, when I went up, I bombed. First time.
Everybody
bombed. But I just felt like it was at the time Sammy Sosa was still in home runs.
Oh, that was 98.
Nah, it was 01.
01. I'm thinking that hit McGuire.
Yeah, McGuire, yeah. So
98.
after that, man, I just stayed with it. Stayed with it every Wednesday, like every Wednesday. And then one of the Destin legends, Leon Rogers, saw me. He was like, yo, you should come do my room. Anthony Mason was the NBA player.
Yeah.
He was the sponsor for the room. I bombed in that one.
Okay.
I was like, all right, bet. Oh, this is hurtful, right? So you just going through it. But how I was bombing was I didn't know myself.
Okay.
So I knew I wasn't cliquish. I didn't want to hang with them. I want to be respected by the OGs. That's what separated me from all of the comics. I was never going to be accepted by the peers. They young dudes. I'm not finna get no gist off of you. OGs is finna like, hey, come here. So, comedy is it's very competitive. And I don't compete with people. You know what I'm saying? I let you do you. And then I was comfortable with just giving the head nod and salute. And then I think that's what made me who I am today, 21 years in.
So speak about your journey getting from Chicago to Hollywood and breaking into the business that's obviously very tough to get into.
Okay.
Speak upon that, you know.
Quick, I'll tell you. So, Chicago, I left after I did because I always set goals.
Okay.
So my goals was, it was a TV show called Who's Got Jokes, hosted by Bill Bellamy.
Okay, I remember
That was
that.
the first show I done, right? First appearance, doing. After that, I moved to Atlanta. So I stayed in Atlanta, couldn't really get my feet wet.
Okay.
It's 06. So I'm down in the A, and then my man Rashid Thurman, you know, he died right after he did Bad Boys for Life,
Okay.
right? I mean, the Bad Boys of comedy. So I moved to New York, stay in New York for about, I'll say, 7 months.
Okay.
NBC here is doing they have a strike, writer's strike. That was 08.
I remember that.
So when I moved here of January of 08, and then, you know, because Atlanta was, at the time, they weren't really comics. They used a lot of music in their material.
Okay.
Then you go to New York, it's talent, and then everybody is regional. Everybody's doing West Indian jokes and this and other. And then Chicago, you know, I'm just gonna put it out there, ain't no city funnier than Chicago comedians. We got it on Smash. DC got 5 at the time. New York got it up, but it's a bunch of us. Mm-hmm. I could go all day with this podcast, like how many greats is from the crib, and I'm one of those now. You know what I'm saying? So it was coming to LA. You have to learn business. So that's what I did here. J. Anthony Brown, the J Spot.
Okay.
Let me open up, you know, his Friday night. Me and I think you have him on your show, Ron G.
Ron G, yeah.
Ron G. Me and Ron G also did, Ron G, Tiffany Haddish, Little Rail, we all did Who's Got Jokes. You know what I'm saying? So I was always in that, they respect me, you know what I'm saying? But I really don't do no talking, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a job to do, and then we talk after the job is over.
Yeah, so we know you're the alpha male king of comedy. I say king. He told me to say
Yeah, just
alpha male,
comedy.
but I like to call him a king. But Grady, speak about the alpha male and how did you come up with that and your brand and speak upon to the audience about that.
Well, I speak for, my material is for dudes.
Okay.
I speak strictly for the dudes. I'm not here to, like you see most comics, like give it up for the ladies. I don't address none of them in the audience. None of them. Because I ain't there for them.
Okay.
I'm in for the dudes, right?
Okay.
So if the chicks come, they usually come in to figure out, like, well, what is this, or who is he? And then when I get to talking, they're like, oh, he's like an uncle. He's like a big brother. He's like a dad, which I am a dad. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take it, because this is entertainment. And then a lot of cats, they pander to women. Majority of my comedians, I don't pander to the broads. I just don't do it. Who cares? Like, we just gonna get to the jokes, right? And then so what made me come up with coining alpha male comedy, there isn't any. There's not one alpha in stand-up. And we're not talking this fraternity. Mm-hmm. We're saying alpha male, where you're just speaking from the perspective of men. And if they are that, then the first thing they do is they get ostracized by saying, you're going too hard, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. We don't need all that. We're just saying, at the end of the day, they use this term toxic masculinity. And you be sitting there like, well, wait a minute. Who made that up? Who really made that up? So I said, okay, this gonna be good. So now you make up something, right? And so I said, okay, what's missing? There's no alphas.
Okay, we're back downtown LA, the Arts District. I'm here with the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, Chicago's finest.
Don't be scared saying it, man. Just let it flow.
Let it flow, okay.
Don't be scared.
Okay, but the great thing is that today has come full circle.
Yes, sir.
Ebony Magazine started in the mid to late 1940s, and Ray was lucky enough to be around, and his family and his dad was involved. Tell them about the full circle today with Ebony and how were you was involved and what you observed as a kid.
Oh, wow, you went deep. All right, so my dad started working for Mr. Johnson, 1970.
Okay.
Okay. So I know the family.
Okay.
Linda, Miss Johnson, Mr. Johnson. They've been around the family. I'm 46 now, so since the 70s, My daddy was, you know, a dope executive aide to him.
Okay.
He took care of a lot of stuff for the fashion fair, handled the warehouse, stuff like that. So Ebony's been a part of my life since I've been here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So until Mr. Johnson passed in 2007.
Okay.
And my dad was there. But yeah, man, they like family. So when my dad passed in 2016, Linda came over to the house. I left LA, went back there, you know what I'm saying, the daughter. We call it Too Sweet. You know, it's my dad nickname that he gave Linda's daughter.
Okay.
He was in Boston and all that type of stuff. So this is a family, you know what I'm saying? So when you told me you had the situation with the Ebony podcast, I thought it's like some other Ebony. But then when you was like, I'm like, wait a minute, I know this logo. Like, Eddie, this ain't they took care of my family 40 plus years.
Wow.
This ain't no BS, you know what I'm saying? That's why when cats, even when I started stand-up, everybody would ask, why I wouldn't use Ebony? Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't I do with Ebony and Jet? Why would WJPC? Why wouldn't I do that? I said, well, that's my dad's. He worked for them. That's him. I just said it'll be dope if I keep my name buzzing, and they eventually be like, hey, who's Grady? And then like, oh, it's only one Grady in Chicago, and that's my father.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know, and that's our last name. So I'm him. I'm junior to him. You know what I'm saying? So Ebony's always been family, bro.
So Ray, you're on BET Plus now with the Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart and Chris Spencer and all those guys. Rolling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, Rolling is a character. I mean, one of the classic scenes, Rolling comes out, everybody's in all white. Rolling is in some yellow gear. Rolling comes out the bathroom, the deadbeat boyfriend, and then he shakes Nelly's hand, gives him a dap, and
right out the bathroom
with a plate in his hand, and says, "Baby, can you hold this for me?" And he goes to the bathroom. So, speak about how that came about, the series, and working with great actors like Kevin Hart, who's a superstar, and what can we expect for Rolling going forward?
Well, first we gotta do better at business. Okay. But salute to Chris Spencer, Carl Craig. God bless the dead, Carl Craig. Carl Craig and Chris Spencer actually vouched like this is the role.
Okay.
I think it was for some other young cat. I think DC Young Fly name came up for that character. I think something like that.
Okay.
But let me tell you, so I didn't know about Zoom auditions.
Oh wow, I didn't know about it either.
But when you get on the Zoom audition, it's 40 people in this room. And I'm doing it with the casting director, Kim Coleman. I thought she just wasn't really paying attention, bro. So I had the attitude like, I'm off paper. You don't care, I don't care. That's what I thought, bro. That's what I thought. But Chris Spencer, I see the names, like your name be on there, his name be on there, his sister's name be on there, but the screen ain't opened up with the face. So Wayne Stamps and I'm just in the character. I was off paper, meaning I memorized, my lines and all. I became rolling. And then Chris Spencer called and, he just kind of like, good job. That was it. And then her assistant, the casting director assistant, reached out to my team like, yo, is he available? I was like, what? And he was like, oh, I think you got it. I was like, I ain't get it. So, I'm very optimistic. Like, yeah, we'll see. Like that. I'm like, all right, cool. Because if I ain't doing it, I ain't taking your word for it. Mm-hmm. Only person I'm going to take is mine. So when they got the role, I called Chris like, yo, OG, he's like, well, you did absolutely phenomenal job. And he just kept, and I was like, wow. I was like, thank you, man. Appreciate it. So when I got to set, the first person I saw was Nelly and Chris Spencer. And Chris just started bragging like, oh, he dope, funny cat. Then when I seen Nick Cannon, and then this one I knew this was gonna be a good show. This one I was gonna have a great time on set with these millionaires. Kevin Hart sees me when I walk with that outfit.
Did you pick that outfit or not the casting? They told you to put that outfit on?
Well, okay, they was kind of being funny on Chicago dudes.
Okay.
Mississippi dudes, Detroit cats, St. Louis. It was really a mockery.
Okay.
So I got with the the seamstress, and I said, let's alter the clothes, because I know how to wear clothes. Put the clothes on, give me them country white socks, and let's roll. So when I got on set, it fit my frame. So they was really making a joke out of Midwest Southern dudes.
Okay.
So I said, oh, I'm finna milk this. I know exactly what to do. And then when I walked on set, Kev stood up and he made everybody give a standing ovation. He did just stand up. Everybody stood up. And he laughing and everybody kind of looking like, who is he, who is he? But Kevin's the boss. Do as you are told. Everybody got up, started clapping and stuff.
Oh, they fall in line with Kevin.
Fell in line, bro. Not the cast, but the extras.
Okay.
Right? The extras, not the cast, right? The cast ain't doing but laughing anyway. I already knew JB Smooth. When I moved to JB Smooth, gave me my first audition for Mike Epps.
Okay.
That's big bro. Remember I told you. I always want to be respected by the elders of this. Chris Spencer is an elder. JB Smooth is an elder. Kevin executive produced my half hour for Comedy Central 2018. Down here over at the Orpheum.
Okay.
So I've been on Kev since like 05. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good time, man. Then when they was like, oh, I'm over here mingling with the extras, and they like, oh, Grady, we gotta get you ready for wardrobe. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And they like, why is you over here? I'm like, hey, this is what talent be? They're like, no, we got your whole trailer. I felt like this big, right? I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I ain't used to none of this. I thought everybody was, I usually just do the set. I didn't know I had a trailer, but, so when they got down, I saw your name on the call sheet, and you had to really perform, so I got a chance to really act up.
Well, that's great. Dope. Me and you, we talked off air, and one thing you always reiterate, Chicago's finest, bringing out the best comics. The talent comes out of Chicago.
I didn't say Chicago finest. I said we the best.
They the best.
We the best comedians. Ain't no city messing with Chicago comics.
Now explain to me why Chicago comics, and I can go on from you to Corey Holcomb to Robin Williams.
Keep going.
D-Ray.
You trying to say Robin Harris?
No, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, you talking about the white boy?
Yeah, he worked out of Chicago, right?
He's a Bay dude.
Oh, he's a Bay. I know he did San Francisco. I thought he started in Chicago,
he ain't from the tip.
But man, my guy Skills Hudson. There's just so many of you guys that come out of Chicago. Bernie Mac. I mean, it's just the list go on and on. Like, what is it about Chicago that breeds these great comics?
Well, we're melting pot of Mississippi and Alabama.
Okay.
Country kids.
Okay.
They have country kids. They named Chicago the Promised Land from the Mason-Dixon line.
Okay.
Chicago is a blue-collar militant city. If you go to Chicago, if you notice, LA people or people that's in the industry that likes the Hollywood lifestyle, I'm not gonna say LA. Chicagoans, we don't care. We do not care. Just get to the money. Let's do the business. Let's do the work. That is it. This is what you get from a person that has 4 seasons in 1 year. Rain, sleet, snow, summer. That's it.
Okay.
We deal with this when we got to play basketball, because I know you play basketball.
In college. On me. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, he did his homework on me more than what you think.
Right? So when it's cold outside, we hooping.
Okay.
We playing football. I'm talking about when I grew up.
Okay.
Then if it's, slush on the court and it's 30, 40s, get the shovels. We shoveling the court. They don't deal with that out here.
I'm with the legend from Chicago, Ray Grady, Alpha Male. Grady, talk about your upcoming Alpha Male tour and what we can expect and the locations and the power that's behind it.
Well, the power that's behind it is, myself and, my team that, I just try to go in because a lot of times you have to do a lot of the business. So instead of trying to get a comedy club to book you, I just go find the venue, book the venue, and just go through all the stress myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what I do. So I really want all the House of Blues. I really want the comedy tour to be inside of housing all 19 House of Blues across the country. Okay. And that's like the goal. Okay. But, I'll take a 300-seater venue in Akron, Ohio, just as quick as any other spot, just because if you could get the people in there, you get the people in there, right? Okay. And then I just said, cats were like, yo, man, you should do some merch. And I'm like, merch? All right. I tried a couple. So I just started playing with the hats because I'm real good with colors. How I got good with colors, I color pencils and go buy coloring books and just mess around with colors, and that, you know, so now I know how to put colors together and all that type of stuff. So, you know, when you're creative, you have to really be creative. Right now is the time for it to open up. And that's another thing as an alpha. You got to find other ways, man. So for me, if comedy doesn't pay bills, Grady does commercial acting. That's how I'm really able to stay out here, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, because I'm handsome. When white folks want to see us, the first thing they do is they do the same thing they always put us on a trading post, on that block. How you look, how's the skin? So when I eat watermelon and cucumbers and drink plenty of water, that flushes your body out. So when that camera hits you, the red undertones come out, right? You sweat, get your body together and all that type of stuff. That's alpha, man. So when they started watching, I started booking. My first one, when I first got the commercial agent, I didn't bite for 9 months. But the first one, it was me and Steph Curry when y'all went to the chip, the first one. 2015. Then right after that, Toyota. Then the next one after that was Walmart. Then the next one after that was McDonald's. I ain't stopped. 25 commercials in.
Wow.
I know how to go and work the room. How you work the room is be yourself. I don't do no sir. Sir is dead. My daddy dead, so ain't nobody sir. Right? So when I go in the room, shake hands, what's up, brother? How you doing? Hey, mama, y'all go over here, these are signs. And then they feel like, oh, he cool. Right? Because the demeanor is, I ain't smiling when I see you, but it's like, hey, mama, do I sign over here? Mama, oh, wow. Then they just chill. So I'm still in the room first. I'm being cool and cordial because you thinking I'm on some street guy, whatever, because I ain't like everybody else or whatever. But you get in the room and have so much fun. Man, they be like, hey, this guy here, he can lead a brand. And that's really what I started doing. I was like, okay, let's put that let's put that in the repertoire. Boom. What else you doing? Voice acting. Then I said, okay, now let's learn this merchandise. Boom. Shaquille O'Neal let me do 25 characters on this on this like little animation cartoon, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Called Hoop Fighters. I did 25 characters, different voices, and then just have fun. So when I got into the alpha male, I started doing the hats first. Then I haven't done t-shirts. I just do Comedic Genius t-shirts, and then I just learned how to do it. And then just when I did Grady Weekend, I made the color mauve. So Cats was like, mauve, what's mauve? And I'm like, oh, rose.
What's mauve too?
Rose.
Rose, okay.
Yeah, rose. So just being able to play with that, and then this is now it's so many streams of getting bread now. You don't even really need all that. Just one thing you could do a multitude of. And just go, man. So that's what made me get behind the tour even more. I had to embody this joint. Because a lot of cats wasn't going to take kindly to somebody saying, alpha male comedy tour, what's that? They was mostly dissonant. But I had to take it and go forward. And then after a while, the confidence. So if you already not confident anyway, you ain't gonna work no way. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna work around me because this ain't your lane. I got it. So me doing that, man, just let me just stay on the grind. Then create Alpha Nation, my podcast. You know, I started doing that. I started in a recording studio, moved it to a cigar lounge. Now I got it in another cigar lounge. Then I did the big one where I just rent the theater out. And I had Tony Rock, one of the guests, Ruben Paul. My first one was Earthquake. Once everybody seen Earthquake, it was like, for real? Like, how you get him? Talent. I get everything I want off of talent. The reason I could put colors together, because I could sit and watch and get the talent first, right? Then go over here and understand, hey, Eddie, how you do this? Or ask your man over here, no, man, how you do this? And not be afraid to ask questions. Brothers be feeling like, hey, man, I'm inadequate. If I got to ask you, I never knew how to tie a tie, Eddie. Until I had to do a theater production, and the old man was like, come here. My dad never wore a tie. Never. Until he went to church. Okay. But we just put on, jacket and, go to church, right? But I never even asked my old man to tie a tie. And it wasn't until the brother was like, come here. And just look your head down. I was like a son or a nephew to him. And he was like, all right, undo it. Let me show you how to do it. And then that was it. So that was the biggest thing, asking for help. I want to tell the brothers out there, asking for help don't mean you less than. It means you're in the way. If you don't know how to ask for help, that means you don't know how to play your position. It's dope being number 2. Us as black. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll use it. You know who Fat Joe is?
Yeah.
You know why Fat Joe is where he's at?
I heard him say that on Drink Champs.
Number 2.
I see it, yeah.
You know why? Pitbull comes from him.
Okay.
DJ Khaled comes from him. Trick Daddy comes from him. Big Pun comes from him. F. Rivera comes from him. Director Chris Robinson comes from him. When you look at how dope people are, it's because I know how to be number 2. That lets you know, oh, number 2 meaning, if you know this podcast world and I'm starting to get into it, I should be able to ask you and then watch you. And then now you start to develop, and then I could just still be a sponge. And even when you talk, you say, are you just listening to me? Mm-hmm. This is how you're going to be dope at podcasting, because you're knowing how to listen, right? Because you ask the question, right? So the same thing if I say, hey, how do you get in the tech world? You're going to be like, oh, Grady, put this up, go over here, learn how to get your portfolio. What's a portfolio? Then you break that down, and then that's it. A lot of cats just don't know how to be number 2 because of the ego. I'm going to get there before you get there.
That's dope. That's
right?
real.
So if I beat you to it, I won, right? But then guess what happens? When you're at the top of the peak and you ain't got nobody with you, it's easy to shoot your head off. Now because, you know why? You ain't built nobody with you. Only way you keep killers away from you, you give them job and opportunity. You give them jobs and opportunity. Don't keep telling them I got you, right? I got a convicted felon on my tour. You know how I got him on the tour? Talk to him, one-on-one. You dope with the game. Man and man, you regular. You got to deal with whatever I'm going to say, I got to deal with what you got to say. But I recognize you for your talent. They scared of you. They not going to put you on because you went to jail. But you told the world you went to jail. Real street dudes, quiet. Shut up. Be quiet. None of this stuff that we got on chain should never be on a platform. I'm a father of 3 sons. Any dude that want boys, call me. I'll tell you how to get a son. I'll tell him how to get, you get on top, make open eyes up, you get a boy every time. I swear to God. That's how you get a boy. That's how you get a son, right? My oldest is 27. My middle baby is 24. My youngest baby is 21. You see, I said baby. Now, when you're around dudes, they be like, baby. I'm like, oh, that come from me. So I'm supposed to make you feel dope because I'm saying my 3 sons, they voice deeper than yours. Them are my babies, man. I put them here, me and they mama. Once I got good with the financial situation, right? I moved them out of the jungle. They had to come live with me in Santa Monica. They went to school out here. They saw the ocean. I said, that ain't Lake Michigan. The next time you see land, it'll be Hawaii. And after that, it's Asia, right? So I had to learn that. I had to learn how to be an alpha. I had to learn how to be, someone that's giving.
Comedy Live in downtown LA. Creation.